Okay, third try. Now we're on chapter 6. Same day, same class, but I'm breaking it up in half. So now, chapter 6 of Sri Navadvip Mahatmya. Mahaprabhu has just revealed to Lord Brahma about his appearance and purpose, confidential. Now we go on, chapter 6. Bhaktivinoda Thakur begins by saying, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Shakchire Nandan Jaya Nityananda Prabhu Janava Jivan. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Shachi. All glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the life of Sri Janava Thakurani. Jaya Jaya Sitanatha Jaya Gadadhar Jaya Jaya Srivas Adi Gauda Parivar. All glories to Sitanath, that's Advaita Prabhu, the husband of Sita Devi. All glories to Sri Gadadhar Pandit. All glories to Srivas and the other associates of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. The next day, early in the morning, Sri Nityananda Prabhu left the house with Srivas Pandit and Sri Jiva. Walking along with them were Ram Das and other devotees, all singing the names of Sri Gaura. When they reached the border of Antardwipa, Sri Nityananda Prabhu pointed out Ganga Nagara to Sri Jiva. Sri Nityananda Prabhu said, "Listen, Jiva, Ganga Nagara was founded by Bhagirath of the Raghu dynasty. At the time of Bhagirathi Ganga's descent to this world, King Bhagirath, blowing his conch shell, went ahead of her to show her the way. But when Ganga reached Sri Navadvip Dham, she stopped. The king was going forward, but she stopped. Bhagirath turned around only to see that Ganga had stopped flowing onward. King Bhagirath became overwhelmed with fear and returned to Ganga. Because he had taken the Ganga, he had performed these austerities to have her consent to descend into this world from the heavenly realm with the intention of going to the place that we now know as Ganga Sagar, the mouth of the Ganga, where it enters into the Bay of Bengal, where his ancestors had been burnt to ashes by Lord Kapila. And to purify them and to relieve them of their offense, he was told that if they were bathed in the Ganga, their ashes, then that would happen. So now he was so close, after having come all the length across India, now it's so close to that, now she stopped. So King Bhagirath became overwhelmed with fear and returned to Ganga. He began to perform austerities here in Ganga Nagar to find out why she was not proceeding. Satisfied with his austerities, Ganga Devi personified appeared in front of him. Seeing Ganga, Bhagirath said, "Mother, if you do not proceed onward, my forefathers will never be delivered." Ganga said, "Listen, O son of Bhagirath, who have an unyielding and peaceful mind. Just remain here patiently for some time. I have come to this Navadvip Dham in the month of Magh, and at the end of the month of Palgun, I will proceed onward to deliver your forefathers. O Bhagirath, I am in the Dham of that personality from whose lotus feet my waters emanate. In his holy abode, all my desires are fulfilled. The day of my Lord's advent is the full moon day of Palgun, and on that day I will observe a vow. I will definitely come with you the day after completing this vow. Do not fear." Thus King Bhagirath, the head of the Raghu dynasty, stayed here in Ganga Nagar until Palgun Purnim. The next day, early in the morning, he proceeded to lead Sri Ganga's way. One who stays at Ganga Nagar on Palgun Purnim and who fasts, bathes in the Ganga, and worships Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu will cross the ocean of material existence along with his ancestors. That person, along with 1,000 of his ancestors, will attain Sri Goloka, no matter where he leaves his body. Did you get that benediction? Listen to that. One who stays at Ganga Nagar on Palgun Purnim, that's Gaur Purnima, and who fasts, bathes in the Ganga, and worships Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu will cross the ocean of material existence along with his ancestors. That person, along with 1,000 of his ancestors, will attain Sri Goloka no matter where he leaves his body. O Jiva, the glories of this place are incomparable, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced here an unlimited number of times. Wow. And we think about that. All the places of Navadvip, Mahaprabhu, Nimai, would walk, travel, sing, dance, whatever kind of pastime he was performing at that time. The place is enriched with his love and covered by the dust of his lotus feet everywhere. Look, here are the houses of Sri Gangadas and Sri Sanjay. One always feels unequaled happiness just by beholding them. O learned one, now please hear the glories of this beautiful large pond situated in the eastern direction. Nowadays, everyone calls this lake by the name Balal Dirghika. In Satyuga, there were many descriptions of this lake. In other words, it has been famous since then. Once upon a time, a king named Part2 was leveling the rough parts of the earth. When his workers came to this place, they saw a great effulgence illuminating the four directions. When the workers described this incident to the king, he also came to see that great effulgence. Maharaj Part2 was a Shaktiavesh avatar, an empowered incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he could understand in his meditation that this place is Sri Navadvip Dham. Upon seeing the effulgence of this place, everyone could understand its glories, would understand its glories. For the purpose of concealing the glories of this place, he ordered a delightful pond to be constructed here. This pond became known as Part2 Kund throughout the entire Navadvip Dham. How is it possible to describe the bliss the villagers felt upon drinking the pure water of this pond? Later, King Lakshman Sen had this pond enlarged and deepened. Desiring to deliver his forefathers, he named this pond Balala Dirghika, after one of his ancestors, Balala Sen. Look at this beautiful high hill. This was the palace of King Lakshman Sen, but now it is in ruins. Such ornament-like sites were constructed by various kings at great sacred places for the purpose of acquiring pious credits. Later, one Javana king desecrated this place, and therefore devotees no longer show it due respect. The land here is extremely sacred, but devotees do not reside here because they fear the association of the Javanas. The devotees left this place because it was here that a deity of the Lord was shown disrespect. So by the time, this is, the time of Mahaprabhu, the Muslim invaders had been there for some 500 years, 400 years, and all over North India, Bengal, had just ravaged and destroyed so many temples, right? And we wonder, well, why was this? Why were these places not protected? But we hear, even back at the time of Part2, he seeing the obvious effulgence that everybody saw at that particular place, if Navadvip Dham is always a confidential place, it only becomes prominent to the world during the pastimes and time of Mahaprabhu. Perhaps other Kali Yugas also, but certainly during Mahaprabhu's time. Otherwise, it's Gupta Dham, right? Hidden. And so also we have to wonder why was it arranged that so many aspects of Vedic culture were completely wiped out? In northern India, there's not an original temple left, right? That, everything was destroyed or taken over and repurposed as a mosque. And even in South India, there's more that still survives in South India because they didn't get quite that far. But, the Lord is behind all of this. And even in Vrindavan and Mathura, there were great libraries that were completely burnt. But we have to remember also that Mahaprabhu, he's coming to introduce something unique and distinct from all prior Vedic culture. He himself told Jiva, Rupa Goswami that what I'm giving you is very rare, very confidential, very deep. It's so vast, this bhakti tattva, this bhakti ras, I can only give you a drop. But that will be enough to understand. But before that, Indian culture in the Kali Yuga had become completely absorbed in the fruits of Varnashram, materialistic fruits. And even those conception of Vedic culture was completely perverted. In the Chaitanya Bhagavad, it talks about, at that time, even the inhabitants of Navadvip were completely consumed in materialism, right? And they were just consumed with marriages and even arranging marriages between animals. So Krishna arranged to wipe the slate clean and start afresh. Not completely afresh, but make a clean slate for the teachings of Mahaprabhu to come forth. Less jungles to cut. The destruction by the Muslims was a form of jungle cutting. Right? So, and even the desecration. So the devotees had left that place, but now Nityananda Prabhu was reestablishing it. Saying this, Sri Nityananda Prabhu roared loudly, right? Which is a manifestation of his anger towards the Yavanas because of their offense to the deity of the Lord, and arrived at the village of Sumulia. Seeing the village of Sumulia, Sri Nityananda Prabhu said to Sri Jiva, "Know with certainty that this place is Simantadwipa. All great saintly persons say that Simantadwipa is situated on the southern bank of the Ganga, on the border of Navadvip. With the passing of time, this island will be flooded by the Ganga, and only one sacred place, Sumulia, will be left. Materialistic people will worship Parvati here, calling her Simuli. I will tell you one story. You should listen. Once during Satyayuga, Mahadev was dancing for a long time, uttering the name of Sri Gauranga. Seeing Lord Shiva dancing, Parvati asked, "Please tell me something about Gauranga Dev, whose name you are chanting. My heart is melting by seeing your astonishing dance and hearing the name of Sri Gauranga emanate from your mouth. Whatever I have heard to this day about mantra and tantra now seems to be nothing more than a botheration for the living entities. Therefore, O Lord, please tell me about Sri Gauranga, so that I may also engage in worship of him and become alive." Oh, what an interesting inspiration. Worship Gauranga and become alive. Hearing Parvati's words, Pashupati Shiva, remembering Sri Gauranga, said, "O Parvati, You are the original potency, a portion of Sri Radha. I will tell you about this topmost truth. Taking Srimati Radha's intrinsic mood and bodily luster, Sri Krishna will appear in this Kali Yuga in Mayapur from the womb of Sri Shachi Devi. Being himself absorbed in Sankirtan, Mahaprabhu Sri Gaurahari will distribute the jewel of prem to the public without considering whether the recipient is qualified or not. Fie on the fortune of those living entities who will not drown in the flood of this prem. O Devi, it is even useless for them to maintain their lives. I became saturated with prem upon remembering Sriman Mahaprabhu's promise, and my mind lost patience. Therefore, I left Kashi, which we know as Varanasi now. I will live in a cottage on the bank of the Jahnavi, the Ganga, at the border of Mayapur, and I will worship Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Hearing the words of Sri Shankara, who wears matted locks, the beautiful Sri Parvati Devi quickly came here to Simantadwipa. She began to constantly remember Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu's form. Chanting the name of Gaura, she drowned in prem and was not able to remain calm because of the excitement of this prem. After some days, Sri Gaurachandra, out of mercy, appeared along with his associates to give his darshan to Sri Parvati. Sriman Mahaprabhu's luster was just like that of molten gold, and he was tall in stature. His head was beautiful with curly hair, and all his limbs were extremely handsome. He was wearing a dhoti folded thrice, and a garland made of extraordinary flowers adorned his neck. Sri Gaura Rai said in a voice choked with prem, "O Parvati, tell me, why have you come here?" Parvati Devi fell at the feet of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the Lord of the universe, unable to remain calm as she explained her sorrow. Sri Parvati Devi said, "O Master, O Lord of the universe, O life of the residents of the world, why are you deceiving me, yet being merciful to everyone else? O deliverer of the fallen souls, you have appointed me to punish those living entities who are averse to you. Because I am always busy with such duties, I am deprived of your unlimited prem. Everyone proclaims that Maya, illusion, cannot exist where Krishna is present. If this is true, I will always remain averse to you. How then will I ever behold your eternal pastimes? If you do not give me a solution, I will become completely hopeless." Saying this, the chaste Sri Parvati Devi, feeling distressed, put dust from Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu's feet on the parting of her hair, that simanta, that married ladies do, that red line, that simanta. And from that time, this place has been known as Simantadwipa. Some ignorant people started calling this place Simulia. Sri Gauranga Chandra became pleased upon hearing Sri Parvati Devi's prayers. He said, "O Parvati, listen attentively to my words. O Supreme Goddess, Sarveshwari, as my potency, you are not separate from me. I have just one potency, which has two forms. As the internal potency, Swarup Shakti, you are my beloved Sri Radha. And externally, for the executing the activities of the material world, Sri Radha has expanded herself as you. My pastimes cannot take place without you. Certainly in my pastimes, you act as Yogamaya. You dwell eternally in Braj as Purnamasi, and in Navadvip as Prodha Maya, together with Lord Shiva, the protector of the Dham. Saying this, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu disappeared, and Parvati Devi became absorbed in prema. Isn't that an amazing conception, philosophical conception? That Mahamaya, Parvati is generally understood as Mahamaya, right? But she is that special expansion coming ultimately from Sri Radha. But in the Dham, she has another function. And in the Dham, she acts and oversees the affairs of devotees as the internal energy, as Yogamaya, and gives direction, blessings, assistance to devotees, which is why we always go there. We always take the blessings of Lord Shiva and Parvati, not for material things, but in their roles, right? Vaishnavanam Jata Shambhu, and Parvati as the arranger and facilitator for those who are sincere in bhakti. And even while we were under the influence of the material nature, it's described in Madhurya Kadambini that Mahamaya will assist us by gradually removing the influence of the lesser modes of nature and stimulating us with sattva gun, which will gradually, as anarthas fall away, will lead us to Shuddha Sattva. So saying this, that you eternally dwell in Braj as Purnamasi and in Navadvip as Prodha Maya, together with Lord Shiva, the protector of the Dham. Saying this, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu disappeared and Parvati Devi became absorbed in prema. Deeply absorbed in love of Sri Gaura Prem, Parvati dwells here as Simantini Devi and in Mayapur as Prodha Maya. Okay, so that's that. The next section is the village of the Kazi. There's so much to read. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near to finishing this whole extraordinary book. But our time is up, so I guess I'm going to have to stop here and continue tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll just continue with Nityananda Prabhu. This is not following the parikram as it's going, but it's one way of doing parikram. We're following Lord Nityananda and Jiva Gosvami. Okay? So, Gaur Premanande, Haribo.